Hello, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It's amazing how many people choose to be scared of this COVID scam without actually looking into it. You see, when I started making these videos, it was to ease the minds of my friends about the severity of COVID. Unfortunately, nowadays many people just don't have the ability to critically think for themselves. They won't check the official statistics, and they won't think any further than what the telly man tells them. Now, what I will say, of my social circle, there are a few that believe that the government's actions are disproportionate to what they say we are facing. But then again, they all own a telly. Just the other day I remarked that this second lockdown is a complete joke compared to the official statistics. The person that I made this remark to agitatedly replied to me, "I know someone who died because of COVID at the beginning of all of this, but you are entitled to your opinion." Once they had finished saying this, they did a runner and wouldn't allow me to ask some questions that would back up my opinion. So, although I am entitled to my opinion, they don't wish for me to express it. You see, there are some very serious questions that I needed to ask this person about the person that passed supposedly from COVID. What age was the person? Did they have any underlying health problems? And probably the most important of all, did they die with COVID or from COVID?
Hey guys, I hope you're really well. Lena K here. I wanted to share something with you guys. When my dad passed away, which is over a month now, they put COVID-19 on his death certificate. I want to share this with you because I think it's really important. My dad died of Alzheimer's. He has been dying of Alzheimer's for the last 10 years. The doctors actually told us that he would die like 5 years ago. The only reason that his lifespan has extended to 10 years is because we really researched into nutrition. We really researched a lot into how to keep him as healthy as possible. And he was in the home with us. So when he passed away and we got the death certificate back and it said COVID-19, we were not happy. I was like, contact the doctors, that needs to change because it's false information. There's been no testing, nothing. We spoke to our family doctor who told us that orders from higher up in the NHS, because my father's in the UK, they said orders from higher up is anybody who dies during this time, we have to put COVID-19 on the death certificate.
Since March, I have known four whole people that have supposedly tested positive for COVID. But we all know how good this testing is, don't we?
The challenge is that the false positive rate is very high. So only 7% of tests will be successful in identifying those that actually have the virus.
One of these people who was given a positive test result had a cough for a week, then the following week was back to full health. The other three had no symptoms at all. None of these four people required any hospital treatment. But still, they tell us the hospitals are in crisis. Newsflash, the hospitals are in crisis every winter. Many of those who are choosing to stay scared and obedient to the draconian measures will be telling me that the hospital admissions and cases are going up, and although this may be true, we have already discussed the effectiveness of the tests. The other problem with these tests is they don't tell you if you have COVID-19 or another coronavirus, such as the flu or the common cold. What many people are unaware of, because the telly man hasn't told you, is as of the 8th of October 2020, Public Health England started combining the flu and COVID stats. This will be the last COVID-19 surveillance report. As of the 8th of October 2020, the information in this report will be published in a combined weekly flu and COVID-19 surveillance report on gov.uk. Which obviously explains both cases in hospital admissions. When the media and the governments tell us there is an increase in coronavirus cases in hospital admissions, they are not lying to us, as flu is coronavirus too. There are even videos proving that tests come back positive without the person even doing the test. Now, as of next week, we will be in lockdown, something I predicted in a video a couple of weeks ago. Now it's time to remind all of you living in fear of COVID of a few basics. Seasonal flu, or influenza, is an infection caused by a virus that can affect your nose, throat and lungs. People tend to get it around the same time every year. In the UK, people usually get seasonal flu between December and March, although outbreaks can happen as early as October and as late as May. So when we look at this graph, we can see that we had a peak in March, then it starts to drop off. Remember, Lena's family doctor said orders from higher up in the NHS was to put COVID on the death certificate for anyone at this time. Our government has made changes to this policy. Now, anyone who dies within 28 days of testing positive is put down as a coronavirus death, even if they die in an accident. But back to the graph, even with the fixing the stats and the scaremongering, it virtually disappeared in the summer months, just like flu. Remember, some influenza seasons start as early as October. Why has it not dawned on the fearful that this is the start of the flu season? As the graph shows. Look, I'm not totally heartless. Every death is a tragedy, no matter how the individual goes. 14 years of being a carer has taught me that. But the thing is, I care for my children's future, and the future of our humanity and society. I know people think that I'm a nut when I tell them about the Great Reset, so I will let a more respectable member of society give you the warning.
Not making a lot of sense. Is there some kind of is there a plan, some kind of global agenda to bring in a reset that this, do you know anything at all about this Great Reset or any global movements to take advantage of this situation?
I think we know what we know. And what we know is that the World Economic Forum is real. Klaus Schwab is a real person. He has written real books, and those real books are horrifying in the kind of world that he wants. They suggest a world of huge state control, state surveillance, huge restrictions on personal liberty. And that's not a conspiracy to say that. You can read his books.
That was Barrister Francis Hoare speaking to Anna BREES Media. I will link the full interview in the description. It's all sleight of hand. The government worldwide are keeping their citizens in the state of fear of COVID. And whilst you are all focused on that, they are working on the Great Reset. The only way we have left to save our society and save our futures is to just say no to these lockdowns and carry on with our daily lives. It's easier to fool people than it is convince them that they have been fooled. As always, thanks for watching. Time to set your alarm clock and wake up.